Hey guys, I'm back again with a brand new video for you all, and today we'll be talking about the best teams that we can use for the Ultra League. And there's a new arrival of Corviknight, and it has changed quite a lot of the things in the meta and the rankings. So before we'll be talking about the best teams that we can use, we'll be talking about the rankings. So without any further ado, let's start the video. So talking about the rankings, there you go. New arrival, and it is #1 Pokemon for the Open Ultra League, Corviknight. First of all, I hope that is how it's pronounced, Corviknight, right? And you look at that, it's like Sand Attack and Sky Attack and Iron Head. Now, not the greatest charge moves, but the charge moves with its fast move Sand Attack is the thing that it makes the difference, and its typings, right? Steel and a flying, that is Skarmory typing, right? So just think about it. Skarmory against the fighters, it had to land that Sky Attack against the fighters in order to win the matchup, right? Like against Niantic and Primeape in the Great League, it had to reach to the Sky Attack with those fast moves Steel Wings. Now this time it's going to be Sand Attacks, which is much better, right? So yeah, it's #1 XL. If you have access, right, it's like we'll have access from January 21. If we have access and if we can gather the candies, then yep, definitely do run Corviknight and try it out, right? And it's gonna be weak against things like Talonflames and Skeledirge because of fire against steel, right? Again, weak to Registeel as well, and definitely need to watch out for those neutral close combats and things like that. And yeah, that's all. And weak against, all right, so let me see, it has Iron Head for the rocks as well, right? And yeah, which is kind of doesn't make it weak against the rocks, the solar rocks, not the steel rocks. Like Mastodon is definitely going to be weak, and it's got plus a Sand Attack as the fast move, which is going to be super effective, right? And yeah, Primeape is #3 because of its arrival, the Corviknight's arrival. Gastrodon moves down to #6. It was, I guess, 2 or 3, right? For Alligator is still the second. It was first, now it's second. Primeape is third, Steelix, and yeah, Steels like Steelix, Registeel are gonna rise. Registeel is a much better matchup against Corviknight. Registeel can win in any scenario. I just checked it out, right? And definitely gonna be very strong against fairies. Look at that, Corviknight is gonna be weak, strong against poisons, fairies, and the poisons and fairies, and even fighters and ground types like Gastrodons and grass types, right? We don't see any grass types in top 26 Pokemons for the Ultra League. Look at that. Firstly, I think Virizion was definitely inside here. Am I missing something? There is no grass, right? Okay, there's Cobalion, there's no Virizion. So yeah, definitely. And steel meta, this is going to be, and this is going to be a little fire meta as well, because there are going to be things like Talonflames and Skeledirge to beat things like Corviknight, right? And for beating Corviknight, there are going to be Registeels, right? Other things. So people are going to be using Talonflames and Skeledirge, even though you don't see them in the rankings here currently. And Cresselia is down at #18 there. Shadow Steelix is 15. Drapion and Weezing 12 and 13. Cobalion 11. Clefable is 10. Giratina moves to #9, right? So yeah, definitely a very, very interesting matchup there. Malamar 24, Aurorus 25, Gorgeous 26, and Galarian Weezing normal variant is 22. Dusknoir is 21. Moltres is 20, Drapion, Shadow is 19, Dusknoir is 14, Shadow Primeape is 17, Regirock is 16. Okay, so this is definitely I call this quite a lot of change. Yeah, there's quite a lot of change here. Just arrival of one Pokemon, and there we go, Sand Attack, Sky Attack, and Iron Head. And yep, that is the ranking. So let's move to the best teams. So moving on to team #1, it's gonna be team #1. There we go. I built a team with Corviknight. All right, so look at this. Look at this team. Corviknight is gonna be weak against fires. Corviknight is gonna be weak against those yeah, obviously Skeledirge, Talonflames, and It's gonna be weak against those waters as well, in Greninja itself as well, and obviously for Alligator has the ability to beat as well. So use Greninja with it, right? And Greninja can beat its weaknesses, but Registeel is still a little bit of a problem. That is why we got Scatterdirge in this team. So this is going to be a pretty balanced team, guys, right? And look at that. Greninja is going to be weak against fairies and fighting. We got Ghost in Scatterdirge, and we got Corviknight with Sky Attack there, but you need to reach there, right? You will reach there, right? This is a very balanced team, but I just thought about it. So just like I pressed the record button here before 30 minutes of that, I came up with this team, and yeah, definitely there are gonna be some weaknesses, but we can run through those, right? And it's gonna be, yeah, good against those team is gonna be good against Registeels as well, because we got fire there, and Scatterdirge is gonna be weak against those Gastrodons, and Corviknight is gonna be so good against those Gastrodons, right? Pretty balanced team. So yeah, let's move on to another team. It's gonna be team number 2, Registeel, Primeape, and Mandibuzz. Now kind of ABB for those fairies. You got Fighter and a Dark type at the back, and Registeel in the lead. So that's how this team goes. And Registeel is gonna be weak against those Alone Sandslash, right? Those things. And we got Primeape for those, the Fighter. And yeah, against poisons as well, Registeel is gonna do good. Primeape is gonna a little bit struggle against the poisons, right? But not the some of the poisons. Like if it's Tentacruel, then Primeape is definitely gonna a little bit struggle, right? Against Tentacruel, Registeel does so good. And if it's something like Giratina in the lead, you like don't need to swap, or you can swap, right? And if it's for Alligator, you just stay, right? And definitely if it's Fairy, then stay. If it's something like Zygarde, then just stay. If it's something like Steelix, then just stay. If it's something like Corviknight, just stay. That's how this team runs. And yeah, pretty unique team this is gonna be. Let's move on to another one. It's gonna be team number 3, Drifblim and Clefable and Lickilicky. I think this was one time recommended by PV Poke. I wanted to talk about this team as well. That is why I put this team in here. Now, talking about the backline, Lickilicky is going to be weak against fighters, and you got Fairy. That is kind of RPS backline, right? And Clefable is going to be weak against those things like Talonflames and those and Scatterdirges. That is why you got Lickilicky there. It takes good care of all those fires, right? And not all. Typhlosion might still, but it can do good. And that's kind of RPS backline. So if you put something that can be neutral to all of its weaknesses, then it's gonna be a good team, right? And Drifblim, now it has access to that Icy Wind. So if you find something like Giratina or the Shadow Claw users, then you can just come in with your Lickilicky or Clefable as a safe swap. Lickilicky would be much better. Things like Giratinas or those things, you can just safe swap. And if it's something like Scatterdirge, then you can just stay with your Drifblim in the lead, because you got a Fury at the back, right? That's how this team is gonna run. If it's something gonna be like a Primeape or an Niantic in the lead, you can just stay, because you got a normal type at the back, right? And if it's gonna be something like for Alligator, a little difficult it's gonna be, but you can come with your Clefable as a safe swap, and you can do those, do that. And if it's gonna be Registeel, that is where this team struggles. You can just stay, right? You can just stay, throw Icy Winds, throw Shadow Balls, Soft Loose, and then come into a Lickilicky. And if it's going to be debuffed, then the Focus Blast is not going to be that big of a problem. Or Lickilicky, it's quite bulky, right? You can just throw Shadow Balls, and you need a lot of teamwork for that Registeel if you're running this team. And yeah, that is how this team is going to go. So let's move on to another one. It's going to be Malamar, Talonflame, Lickilicky. So I came up with this team like as soon as the season started, and Malamar came in Rise. I think it was 6 months back, right? So yeah, Malamar is going to be weak against those Fairies. You got Talonflame, the coverage there, Fire. And yeah, so Lickilicky has the safe swap. One of the best safe swap in the game for the Open Ultra League, right? That's how this team is going to go. And Lickilicky is going to be weak against fighting. You got a Sidewave user and a Flyer in this team. Pretty balanced, right? You find something like Registeel in the lead, you can just stay, or you can just safe swap. And yeah, that's all. And this team is gonna go Fairy, safe swap into early, Licky. And if it's something like Giratina, you can just stay, right? And for Alligator in the lead, just stay. And yeah, if there's gonna be some Poison Darks, then you can just stay or just safe swap. Do here and there's team works. That is how this team is gonna go. This is pretty balanced team. Let's move on to another team. It's gonna be Gastro and Double Dark, Double Poison. So yeah, again talking about that Corviknight. If you talk about Corviknight, Gastrodon is very gonna struggle, right? But the problem is you have poisons at the back, and you can actually put Flamethrower instead of Trailblaze in your Scum tank, and you can just spam Crunches and Aqua Tails against the Corviknight from your Drapion. So backline is not that bad, right? So Poison Stings from Drapion is gonna get to your charge moves very faster. You can spam those. Alright, you're gonna need a Teamwork, and Scum Tank would be your safe swap if it's gonna be Corviknight in the lead. And you put Flamethrower, and you can Flamethrower and Trailblaze and boost your attack and do grab the shields. That's how you're gonna play. And backline is gonna be weak against the steals, obviously. So you got Gastrodon up front, ABB for the steals, like Registeel and Steelix. That's how we're gonna run this team. Gonna be pretty cool, right? So let's move on to another team. It's going to be team number 6, Talonflame, G-Weezing, and Tentacruel. Talonflame and double kind of poison there. And what you can do here is think it as ABB for that Corviknight. Now, alright, so this team is entirely not focused for that only, but a lot of the other stuffs, right? So, and people are not gonna have access to that early, I guess. So this is gonna be ABB for steals. You got double weak against Registeel at the back. Talonflame is gonna be good in the lead with the shields, of course, for that Zap Cannon. If it's gonna be for Alligator, you safe swap into your G-Weezing. Tentacruel, that was quite good. And you could put Acid Spray instead of that Blizzard also. So yeah, that's how this team is gonna go. Fury's got nowhere to go in this against this team, right? And Fighter's got nowhere to go against this team. This team is gonna rock. It's gonna be solid, right? So let's move on to another team. It's gonna be Primeape, A/, and for Alligator. Now, talking about things like Talonflame, if it finds your Primeape in the lead, then you can just stay, go for the Rage Fist. You have to stay because you got A/ at the back, and you can also soft lose. And if you get going, then it's hard to stop Primeape as well, right? And you got obviously for Alligator answer for those things. And yeah, you got Steel, then you just stay. If you got Fairies, you definitely swap into your for Alligator, right? And that's how this team is gonna run. A/ is still gonna be good, and this team is also fine against that Corviknight as soon as you shield that Sky attack against your Primeape, you're good to go. And against Gastrodons as well. Against Giratinas, your backline is very strong as well. You can also run Crunch instead of Ice Beam, but you can run Ice Beam, why not? Right? Against Cobalion, this team is good as well. Your lead is a fighter, right? And Virizion, yeah, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Not that difficult, right? Because you got Primeape, and you can always try to bait out the Virizion. Something like Venusaur is gonna be a little bit of a problem, because there's for Alligator at the back, and you got a fighter, and Venusaur is both grass and poison, but you can work it out, right? So yeah, this team is gonna be fun to run, pretty safe, I think. Well, let's move on to another one. It's gonna be team number 8, Giratina, Gastrodon, and for Alligator. Now, all right, so this team, ABB for a lot of the stops, ABA for a lot of the stops. ABB for grass. Giratina is gonna do good against grass. Your backline is double water, it's gonna struggle against grass. ABB for those, right? And another thing is not A/. All right, things like Corviknight might be ABA, but not. It's gonna be still neutral against Giratina. Giratina is a bulk beast. You know how many moves it can tank, right? And A-Slash struggles Gastrodon. Giratina. A-Slash is good against that. And Registeel. Alright, ABA against Registeel. Feraligatr need a lot of Hydro Cannon against that Registeel, and Registeel was fine against Giratina, but it is still neutral, guys. Registeel and Giratina is still neutral. And yeah, those dark Pokemon, because Feraligatr Shadow Claw is going to be resisted, and it's going to do good, so good against Giratina as well. ABA against those things. Yeah, that's how this team is gonna run. So yeah, let's move on to another team. It's going to be Dragonite and Registeel and Tentacool. Now this team is been here for quite a very long time, right? And it is still working, still does good, I'm sure of it. That is why this team deserves the spot in this video. Obviously Corviknight, right? Dragonite is a dragon, but just imagine Skarmory versus Shadow Dragonite in the Great League. If it shields, then Dragon Breaths are still gonna do good, right? A lot of damage, even if it's gonna be against Steel. Nothing like Registeel, but Registeel is like Dragon Breaths are gonna do like nothing, right? But against Corviknight, we have to check it out how it's gonna be. And Registeel on the team, obviously, for those things, right? And definitely a lot of the weaknesses there, but it's still gonna be fine, and you can run this team. And Shadow Dragonite in the lead is so strong most of the times. You guys can know, right? And A-Slash, almost A-Slash is gonna be the killer for this team. Tentacool and Dragonite both fall. That's how it's gonna be. And Registeel, one Focus Blast is gonna do the job against A-Slash, and A-Slash is gonna need a lot of those drill runs, even though if it's gonna be super effective when it's your Registeel. That's how you're gonna run this team. So let's move on to another one. It's gonna be final team, team number 10. Ampharos, Talonflame, and Guzzlord. Now think about the backline. Again, the RPS kind of backline. Their Guzzlord is gonna be weak against Fairy, Fighters, and Steel. So Talonflame can take care of all three. Alright? And Talonflame is gonna be weak against those Feraligatrs, the Waters, and Guzzlord can take care of those. And Ampharos is there to handle the neutral scenarios. Like Tapu Fini is gonna destroy the backline, right? And that is why Ampharos is there in the lead. This is a very, very balanced team. You guys can run it. And this is gonna be EBA weak against Virizion. Ampharos is gonna lose to Virizion. And Guzzlord also struggles against Virizion. But this is gonna be ABA, but you got a Talonflame there. You can soft boost and play like that in the sense of ABA. That's how you're gonna run this team. And yeah, this is a pretty good team. And that is it, guys. I hope you like this video, like this content, all our league top 10, right? If you like this content, please leave like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. Do join the Discord server, the link is in the description. If you have any confusions, feel free to comment and text me on Discord, right? So yep, see you guys next time. Thank you so much.